Thanks for joining us at 6 a.m. on already a warm, toasty Tuesday. I'm Eric Connors.
And I'm Netta Iranpour. Toasty Tuesday. What's it going to be Wednesday?
Yeah, wow.
Just getting hotter. Meteorologist Evan Irani joining us. Oh, boy. Yeah, the muggy heat just feels so much worse, right?
It'll be wilting Wednesday because it's just, I feel like every day it just takes it out of you.
The tough part is that we're going to be looking at really hot temperatures this afternoon. We've been seeing them for weeks on end. And we have to envision Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which will just get hotter as the week progresses. So that's going to be probably the toughest part to contend with, is facing the fact that as we get to this afternoon, you will get outside, you will feel the heat, and you'll have to mentally prepare for more and more of it. Live look outside shows a little bit of haze as we kick off the morning. We can hope for it. That'll help keep things a little bit more mild for the start of the morning. But with temperatures right now in the 70s, we're at 72 in downtown. It is going to be a quick warming process. We're still 18 minutes shy of sunrise. Sunset coming at 7:22. Take a look at these afternoon highs. Santee and El Cajon 103 this afternoon. Chula Vista 86. San Ysidro 92. Up in North County, a pretty similar range on hand with Escondido and Poway expected to make it into the triple digits this afternoon. 104 out in Ramona, 88 in Oceanside, 85 in Solana Beach. Out across our mountains and deserts, 90s in triple-digit heat. Coming up, we'll take a look at that 7-day forecast and talk about what to expect into the remainder of the week. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Evan. And yes, Evan, talking about this heat, well, here's what to watch out for. County sharing tips to help keep you safe. We want to make sure you get through this okay. So stay hydrated, drink more water than you usually do. Wear lightweight clothes, know the signs of heat illness, headaches, dizziness, nausea, heavy sweating and cramps in the abdomen and legs. And please do not leave children, older adults, or pets in cars. Also provide shade for your pets. Ice water, that's what my dog likes these days. And visit cool zones for free air conditioning, including county libraries. She likes to chew on the ice cubes.
Right, yeah.
As always, you can get alerts on the go and an extended weather forecast right there on the CBS 8 app. You can scan right there on your screen, download the app, stream it for free anytime. And this morning, the Trump administration celebrating what it calls a major win for the security of American elections.
In an unsigned 6-3 decision, the Supreme Court said President Trump's executive order restricting mail-in ballots to voters on lists compiled by his administration can move forward for now. News 8's Tori Apodaca live in Kearney Mesa with more on what this means for the upcoming elections not too far away here now.
Hi, good morning. That's exactly right. In 23 states, including California, are challenging this, saying that it could create some confusion for voters and also be hard to enforce. But the Supreme Court shot this down yesterday, saying that these are just hypotheticals. So the plan for the Department of Homeland Security to create lists of who is eligible to vote, adult U.S. citizens, can continue. During the Supreme Court's decision, though, on Monday, the 3 Democratic justices dissented. One of them saying the ruling, quote, needlessly injects chaos and uncertainty into the upcoming midterm elections. In a separate but related lawsuit, a broader injunction that blocks the Postal Service from following the president's directives remains in place. But the Trump administration is trying to get this paused or canceled. Another big concern for the states that are suing is what it will mean for how they divert resources just 70 days before the midterm elections. Things like voter education and preparing the ballots themselves. Legal analysts we spoke with say the mail-in ballot lists are designed to make sure that only the people who are entitled to vote do vote. But multiple Democratic-led states and voter rights groups are not backing down and suing.
The U.S. Postal Service starts to take concrete steps somehow to limit the delivery of mail ballots, you can expect that there will be another challenge when that rule actually comes down, if it actually comes down before the midterm elections.
And mail-in ballots, they're widely popular here in California. Back during the 2024 election, about 80% of Californians used mail-in ballots, so this would definitely have an impact locally. Of course, we'll have to see, though, how all of these challenges hold up in court. Reporting live from outside the San Diego County Register of Voters this morning, Tori Apodaca, News 8.
Okay, Tori, thanks for clarifying there. Meantime, the California Supreme Court is set to issue a decision within the next few months over a major election-related lawsuit. Back in February, Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco seized more than 650,000 ballots from the 2025 special election on congressional redistricting. He was there in court yesterday. UCLA's Voting Rights Project sued, arguing that seizure was illegal and that Bianco, seen there, overstepped his authority. Bianco's attorney argued that local law enforcement officers have the right to take ballots after obtaining a warrant. Gubernatorial candidate Javier Becerra, who is part of this lawsuit, was also there. He says allowing the ballot seizure could set a dangerous precedent.
What's to stop, as you heard in the arguments in court today, the actual seizure of ballots that have not yet even been fully counted?
Bianco says he seized the ballots after a citizens group raised concerns about their integrity. His attorneys say they expect the court to establish new guidelines on cases like this for the future. We have an update to a story we've been following for quite some time here. Just hours ago, San Diego City Council voted to repeal Measure C.
So what does this mean for the Midway Rising project? News 8's Chris Crow joining us in the studio to break it down. Chris?
Yeah, good morning. Midway Rising continues to run into new obstacles, but we're told this one was expected. It may not be the biggest issue facing the project. So what happened yesterday? Well, let's break it down. The City Council voted to repeal Measure C. Why? Well, Measure C was approved by voters back in 2022. It excluded the current Midway Sports Arena site from the 30-foot height limit on buildings in a coastal zone, and that gave the green light to the project that boasts 16,000-seat arena, 4,200 residential units, and 130,000 square feet of commercial space. But the state's Supreme Court says Measure C is invalid. The court says the ballot language didn't adequately inform voters about the environmental impacts associated with taller buildings, and that is a requirement of state's Environmental Quality Act, known as CEQA. Supporters of the project and some of the council claim that by voting to repeal Measure C is just simply doing bookwork here, that it does not bury Midway Rising. They point to SB 344, a last-minute bill in Sacramento that shields Midway Rising from future CEQA lawsuits as an alternative. Council President Joe LaCava had this to say.
Because of the nature of what Midway Rising is proposing, they can actually get a deviation or variance depending on how the lawyers look at it. And they can say we are not bound by the coastal height limit.
Now, SB 344 also has an urgency clause in it, which means that if it passes with 2/3 approval in the Assembly and Senate, it would go into effect immediately. Session ends, though, on the 31st. Back to you.
Chris, thank you. New this morning, the U.S. consulate in Tijuana has issued a security alert in response to a reported threat in Mexicali. The State Department did not reveal details of what this threat is, but said U.S. government activities and travel to Mexicali have been suspended. The alert advises Americans in the city to, quote, avoid government buildings, seek shelter in the event of an incident, and monitor local media for updates.
And now this morning, firefighters in Nevada, they are making progress against that fast-moving wildfire. But tens of thousands of Reno residents, they've still been forced out of their homes. They can't return. Bradley Blackburn with the latest on the containment efforts there.
New images show the Hawk Fire is putting up a fight. Whoa. Flames inched right by roadways and lit up mountainsides. The fire has consumed more than 15,000 acres, filling the skies above Reno with smoke and threatening residents with danger. Tens of thousands are under evacuation orders, though those numbers have started to decrease as some residents are being allowed back home.
I just don't take it day by day. I really don't know, but I'm just going to pray and ask God.
Fire officials say the Hawk Fire is now more than 27% contained. They believe it sparked Saturday and was human-caused, though it's not clear whether it was intentional.
So the investigators are still working through that right now. More than likely, this fire will be classified as undetermined.
A 900-person team was battling the fire Monday. 3 firefighters and 4 civilians were reported injured. So far, dozens of homes have been confirmed damaged or destroyed, but many evacuees don't know yet whether their homes are still standing.
How are you coping right now?
Worried.
The National Guard is assisting with evacuations and aerial firefighting. The National Weather Service says wildfire risk remains high in the area this week with dry, high winds. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Oh, it's terrible to see the homes that are burned, those neighborhoods.
Right.
A beautiful part near the Tahoe area.
Yeah, right. And dry here. The heat's not helping our fire conditions here. It's just getting brutal out.
Every year that we see these fires pop up, we're constantly reminded that we are also very, very dry. I mean, oftentimes it is just that a fire starts and spreads rapidly. We have the dry brush out there. We're very lucky to have CAL FIRE crews that have been tackling the fires that have popped up with a lot of effort and huge response. And that has kept us safe in the meantime. But our rain has not helped us out much. We haven't had much. We are now below average on our water year so far across almost the entirety of San Diego County. Another thing that is lit up across the entirety of San Diego County is a heat advisory or extreme heat warning. Heat advisory in the orange color, extreme heat warning for our inland valleys, our mountains, and our deserts. The separation here is that if you are part of any groups that are susceptible to heat-related illnesses, well, that's where you want to maybe limit the amount of time you're spending outside out by the coast with widespread 80s in the mix. Everywhere east of the coast, though, it is recommended that anyone, regardless of if you have any health issues, should limit the amount of time they're spending outside, especially doing strenuous activity. This afternoon, we're trending about 10 degrees above average in downtown San Diego. Vista is going to be about 14 degrees above average. Escondido, 12, 13 degrees in Ramona, 11 up at Palomar Mountain. I mean, it's an impressive sight to see these temperatures exceed normal by that big of a margin. Spots that haven't made it into the triple digits so far this season will do so this afternoon, or at least by the time we get to about Friday afternoon, Thursday, Friday time frame. You can see those temperatures continuing to build, cooling down slightly through the weekend, but it looks like it'll take until Sunday for us to really notice that substantial drop in temperatures. Same goes for our inland valleys, peaking at about 99 degrees on Friday, only a degree of cooling by Saturday, and then more substantial cooling going into Sunday and Monday. Partly cloudy skies through and through. The hope is that some of those clouds will help to shield us from the sun's direct rays and maybe prevent us from warming up to our full capacity. 99 for the mountains by Thursday afternoon, cooling down by 10 degrees by the time we get into about Monday of next week. That's going to be a saving grace out there, is that drop in temperatures that'll come by the time we get into Monday. As far as traffic goes this morning, roads have been really mild so far. Doesn't look like we've been seeing much pop up so far today. We have, I'll pull up drive times here, where it looks like things are pretty quiet on the 805 northbound, the 5 northbound, and the Coronado Bridge. All three are in the green this morning. Back to you. Oh, let's take a look at your border wait time. 60-minute wait at the San Ysidro Port of Entry and Otay Mesa Port of Entry, 60 minutes as well. Both going to take you about an hour. Back to you.
An hour, not bad considering
Okay.
certain days. Okay, thank you, Evan.